finally, after 4 videos of filming other vehicles, we are driving my car on this channel. So, yeah, she's a little dirty, but I don't really care. Okay, so this is, if you don't know, this is my BMW E46 330ci. It's a ZHP, so if you know, you know. If you don't know, it's just not an M3, so that's all you gotta know. Some people will argue that the ZHP is better than the M3. Don't listen to those dumb people. All the ZHP package does is, I think it just lowers the suspension a little bit, and it's got hotter cams, a little bit more horsepower, and a little higher red line. Except the higher red line means nothing, because if you look at the horsepower curve, it just flattens out at like 6,000. So there's really no point in even revving this thing to redline. But once again, if you are unfamiliar with this channel, we are not enthusiasts. Actually, no, we are enthusiasts. We are not purists, okay? So if you're coming here and you're trying to talk about how BMWs have the most mushy gearboxes or fucking... I don't know what people fucking think nowadays. I know that apparently it's not even a good thing to let your car like idle and warm up for that long. But that's what I fucking hate about car enthusiasts, bro. It's just like a bunch of smartasses arguing about what's the best thing for cars. Forgive me if I'm a little bit aggravated today. This is my 3rd day off the nicotine, and it's kind of... it is getting on my nerves. So I don't really want to go down the rabbit hole of just talking about everything about this car, because I don't want to. So instead of getting into all the specifics of this car specifically, I don't know why I said specifically so many times, I want to talk about maybe, let's do 5 things, okay? I want to talk about 5 things that I wish I knew before buying an old BMW. So starting off with number 1. Old BMWs, or maybe just old cars in general, but old BMWs have this crayon smell coming from the worn plastics, right? It's not just with this car, it's also my friend's E30 that's kind of like that. And honestly, I don't know anyone else with old BMWs, but they tend to smell like a box of crayons, especially in the trunk, right? And the thing is, I don't really like to use air fresheners in my car just because, I don't know, it's a little too strong. I personally don't mind it, okay? It's just, I think it adds character. It's an old car. What do you expect? However, out of like the 7 people I've driven in this car, 4 of them have pointed out the smell to me. And the reason I say that is because I think a lot of people think that driving an old BMW is cool, right? It's vibey. But the thing is, okay, let's say you rizz up some girl and you're taking her on a date, okay? And so you go to pick that girl up and you open the door for her. She gets in the car and she smells fucking crayons. She smells crayons and worn plastic and old Alcantara. And she's probably really nice about it, right? So she's not gonna point it out to you. So, and she's just thinking subconsciously in her mind that you just kind of have a smelly car. Now, if you go out of your way to tell her, oh, by the way, that smell, that's not me, it's just like an old car thing, ha 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 ha, you're a fucking loser, okay? You, like, don't fucking explain yourself. But on the other hand, if you don't explain yourself, she's going to think that you might be a smelly person, or just, you know, you might be just a little bit unhygienic, and that might turn that girl off because women tend to be more sensitive to smell, okay? But honestly, ever since I switched out the seats, the smell hasn't been as pronounced. So it might not even be old plastic smell, but more so just old fabric and dead skin cells. So that's the first thing I wish I knew before I got my old BMW. Thankfully, I have a girlfriend of 5 years, so I don't have anyone I have to explain myself to. But to everybody else out there, that's something you might want to think about. And now, for point number 2, I'm going to demonstrate it for you as soon as the light turns green. Okay, that's an old Elantra. Yeah. Now, obviously, if I rev higher, the car's a lot faster. I don't know about you, but I don't like over revving my engine a lot of the times, right? Most of the time, I'm just trying to be a chill guy. I'm going to rev at around 3,000 RPM because that way I save a little bit of fuel. I feel like I'm taking care of the engine. Now, this car doesn't mind being shifted at 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, but I'm just more concerned with what is that on the road. So yeah, my point is, this is not a fast car. And I know that I made a, okay, the frick, that is so loud. If you wonder why BMW drivers don't use their turn signals, it's because it sounds like that. I know I said that slow cars are better than fast cars because you can actually enjoy them on the road. And I still hold that point. But at the same time, this is second gear. If you're driving on a certain day and the traffic conditions are just people want to be getting to places quickly, right? Everyone's in a rush. That Toyota Camry behind you is going to be upset at you for shifting. This Toyota Camry can probably gap me if I'm just driving like a normal person. See, look. I revved to 4,000 RPM and this car's beating me. So if you were looking into old BMWs and thinking that they're going to be so fast and fun to drive, think again. Let's try top of third gear. Honestly, it's fast enough, but that just depends on your personal preferences, right? Okay, now moving on to point number 3. If you're interested in an old BMW, I'm just gonna assume that you are okay with some creaks and rattles because that just comes with owning an old car, right? So I was definitely prepared for a little bit of unreliability in terms of old cars and even some interior rattles, right? However, for some reason, I did not take into account that the interior headliner would be falling apart. Maybe I just didn't do enough research, which is probably the case. But, like, I don't know if you can see that, but that's fallen apart from the A-pillar. Actually, we'll go right here. This is close to falling apart, right? That's not too bad. That's falling apart. This headliner's sagging right here, and that fell apart on a summer's day. As well as, I don't know if you can see that, but that's also kind of falling apart. So just shit like that, and that is stuff that you either have to budget for or just think about. I haven't looked at the headliner in a while, but it's gotten worse since I got it. And moving on from that, you have to understand that standard, these cars don't come with Bluetooth. If you want a mic for your phone calls, you're probably gonna have to install it. So yeah, this car didn't come with Bluetooth, and I don't like the little radios, so I got Blue Bus for my car. But just an FYI, your car might not come with Bluetooth, and you might have a very boring drive home. But yeah, just something to think about if you like listening to music while you drive. Your speakers might be blown out like mine, so you might have to replace those. Hold on, I basically said these cars smell, the headliner falls apart, there's no Bluetooth, they're slow, and I can't think of a good last point, but I'll just point out other things about this car that you might not like. BMW shifters are known for being very rubbery and vague. The clutch feel is also very mushy. There's a lot of things that aren't necessarily broken, but they also just don't work properly. The trunk doesn't open 80% of the time. It unlocks, and as soon as it unlocks, it locks itself again. So every time I try to open the trunk, I need to bring the key, press the unlock button, and as soon as I feel it unlock, I have to just lift it up. Going off of that, the passenger door just sometimes doesn't want to unlock itself. Doesn't matter if you press the key, doesn't matter if you press that thing over here, it just doesn't unlock sometimes. And look, let's see if this works. Yeah. See that? So now it works. Now it works again. Now it doesn't work. Now it works again. Oh, and I just finally remembered what my last point was gonna be. The AC. I fucking hate the AC. If anyone knows how to fix the annoying ass AC hiss in the E46, please let me know. But the hiss really gets me sometimes. It's not a problem with the refrigerant. And the AC unit works completely fine. It just hisses and it's not very good. And so you just have to kind of live with this hissing noise, or you can just turn it off and roll down the windows, which I usually do most of the time. But yeah, besides all the things that I've mentioned in this video, this is really just a good car. I'll over rev this engine in front of the cop too. That's one of the great things about this car, right? I can literally drive it however I want to, and as long as I'm not being a lunatic, there's no way in hell I'm getting pulled over. Okay, so I just found out that the camera died while I was filming the video, so I'm not sure if I was able to get through all the points. But I just wanted to say, besides the minor gripes I had with the car, this is still a phenomenal car, and I love it. You're gonna see much more of it. Would I say I'd take this over an M3? Well, considering the money I paid for this car, I did take it over an M3, but it's not because I thought it was gonna be a better dynamic car. It's just I didn't want to deal with the S54 maintenance, and I wanted something I didn't necessarily have to worry about, because like, as much as people want to pretend that they're street racers and they're incredible drivers, you really don't need more car than this. I truly believe that. I'm gonna stand by it. And some of you might say, well, it's only because you can't afford an M3, and if you say that, you're right. I'm just coping.